Guys, so we have another breaking news update. DEFCON warning. Mark Kelly warns US nuclear test will only advance China's tech as the US vice president backs Trump directive. All right, so we're going to see what's going on here, guys. This is a very important breaking news. You guys already know Trump has ordered the Pentagon to start testing nuclear immediately. So we have all these very important updates. This is a DEFCON warning. Mark Kelly, the left senator for Arizona, warned that the U.S. reactivating its nuclear weapons program was likely to spark an international arms race, which will only benefit other nations like the Red Dragon. If we resume testing our weapons, which we have no reason to do, the Red Dragon will likely begin a test program. This only helps them advance their technology and start an arms race. Now it says here, read your briefing materials, Mr. President. He wrote on X, addressing Mr. President. And once again, meanwhile, J.D. Vance has defended the U.S. President directive to resume nuclear weapons testing, calling it essential to ensuring the U.S. arsenal functions properly. Now, his comments came amid rising international criticism, including a warning from senior Russian lawmaker that such tests could destabilize global strategic stability. The Red Dragon and the Bear haven't conducted a recent test of a nuclear warhead. It's been decades, he said. All right, guys, before I start, for those of you that want to send us letters or prayer requests, you can send it to me, US Santiago, or my wife, Jessica Santiago, at 3432 US Highway 19, number 2, Holiday, Florida, 34691. And for those of you that want to contribute to the channel, we do have the Cash App link and the PayPal link in the comments box and also description box. Thanks again for your support, guys. All right, so I do believe doing something like this is not going to, it's going to spark something. It's going to open the doors to other nations to also test their nuclear. Now, imagine, just imagine if this was Joe or Barack testing nuclear. Woo! I can see it right now. Or I can see it right now. I can see, again, millions saying this is out of control. He's trying to start WWE3. Now, I'm not bashing Donald here, but again, this is just sending a wrong message. All right, so it says here, so the U.S. Commander-in-Chief announced the directive via social media, citing other countries' actions. So I'm just going to skip this part. So 16 minutes ago, what is the Doomsday Clock? Oh, no, don't tell me they got the Doomsday Clock now. What is the Doomsday Clock? What to know? Well, the Doomsday Clock is a symbolic timepiece created to represent how close humanity is to a global catastrophe, most notably nuclear war, but also other existential threats such as, you guys already know, the climate change, emerging technologies, and disinfo. All right, so it was first introduced 1947 by Bulletin of the Atomic Scientists, a group founded by the researchers who had worked on the Manhattan Project, the secret U.S. program that developed the first atomic bombs. And that's the reason why they brought up the name Doomsday Clock. On the clock, the midnight represent the apocalypse, the end of civilization as we know it. The number of minutes to midnight indicates how near or far humanity is from the potential catastrophe. The closer the hands move to midnight, the greater the perceived danger. The Bulletin Science and Security Board, in consultation with a group of Lawrence updates the clock annually based on current global events and scientific assessment. When the clock debuted in 1947, it was set as 7 minutes to midnight, reflecting early concerns about the nuclear arms race between the US and the SU. Now, over the decades, the time has shifted back and forth, mirroring the state of global security. It moved back to 17 minutes in 1991 after the end of the Cold War, the safest moment recorded, and has since crept closer as new threats have emerged. In recent years, the Bulletin has emphasized not just nuclear dangers, but also change, biotechnology risk, cyber warfare, geopolitical instability. As of 2024, the clock stands at 90 seconds to midnight, the closest it has ever been, reflecting growing concern about nuclear tensions, the climate crisis, and the rapid spread of artificial intelligence without sufficient safeguards. That AI stuff is the big deal. You got Amazon is going to lay off thousands of people and replaced by the artificial. Here's another Doomsday Clock. Man, there's a lot of Doomsday Clock news coming out, guys. Doomsday Clock set to 89 seconds to midnight. The closest it's been to catastrophe in a 78-year history. The Doomsday Clock has moved one closer to midnight. The closest it's been to catastrophe in the clock's 78 years history after the U.S. commander announced the United States will be resuming nuclear testing. Doomsday Clock set to 89 seconds to midnight. Wow. There you go. There you go. TikTok. I'm not talking about the app. That is the kind of reckless impression we should not have to tolerate from the person who has the sole authority to launch U.S. nuclear equipment, according to Alexandra Bell, president of the Bulletin of the Atomic Scientists, which sets the time of the clock. Now, the clock represents global existential threats and looks at factors including nuclear weapons, climate crisis, artificial intelligence, pestilence, and conflict in Ukraine and also the Mideast. So I'm just going to skip a lot of this stuff here, guys. All right, so let me just go with the 2025 Doomsday Clock. Official statement warns. In 2024, humanity edges ever closer to catastrophe. Trends that have deeply concerned the Science and Security Board continue. And despite unmistakable signs of danger, national leaders and their societies have failed to do what is needed to change course. Consequently, when now moved the Doomsday Clock from 90 seconds to 89 seconds to midnight, the closest it has ever been to catastrophe. Our fervent hope is that leaders will recognize the world's existential predicament and take bold action to reduce the threat posed by nuclear weapons, climate change, and the potential misuse of biological science and a variety of emerging technology. You have Mr. Mike Johnson. He defends Donald. The speaker defends the U.S. Commander-in-Chief. Restarting nuclear testing, says it's logical to check equipment's system work. Once again, this is coming out from Mike Johnson defending the Commander-in-Chief. Restarting nuclear testing, I think it is an obvious and logical thing to ensure that our equipment system work. They're getting ready. This is a DEFCON warning. I will bring you guys all these updates of this nuclear talk that's going on. Senate candidate calls nuclear testing announcement reckless. Amy McGrath, the left candidate for U.S. Senate in Kentucky, slammed the U.S. Commander-in-Chief directive to restart nuclear testing in America. It's been 33 years since the U.S. last conducted a nuclear test. That decision made the world safer, the former Marine fighter pilot said on X. Now the U.S. commander is moving to restart nuclear testing. There's no reason for this. It's reckless, unnecessary, and dangerously irresponsible. Where is Congress? This is a big deal. Here's another one. Nuclear testing in Nevada. What to know? Nuclear testing in Nevada began in the tense early years of the Cold War in December of 1950. President Harry Truman authorized the establishment of the Nevada Proving Ground, later renamed the Nevada Test Site, located about 65 miles northwest of Las Vegas. Now chosen for its remote desert landscape and relative isolation, the site soon became the epicenter of America's atomic program. The first test, codenamed Able, took place on January 27, 1951, marking the start of an era that would profoundly shape both the region and the nation's relationship with nuclear power. And throughout the 1950s and early 60s, the Nevada desert became a stage for more than 100 atmospheric nuclear explosions. Many of these were conducted above ground, producing massive mushroom clouds that could be seen from Las Vegas. Tourists and locals gathered on hotel rooftop to watch the test, often unaware of the radioactive fallout drifting across communities in Nevada, Utah, and beyond. The spectacle at this embraced as a symbol of American strength and technological prowess soon gave way to growing fears about the long-term health and environmental consequences. Mounting public concern over radiation exposure led to a turning point in 1963 when the US, the SU, and the UK signed the Partial Test Ban Treaty, which prohibited nuclear tests in the atmosphere, underwater, and in space. From then until 1992, testing at the Nevada sites continued underground, with more than 800 subterranean detonations carried out to refine and evaluate nuclear weapons design. These underground tests reduce airborne contamination but cause other problems: seismic tremors, vented radioactive gases, and contamination of groundwater. Go figure, that could possibly also cause the earthquakes. In 1992, after more than 4 decades of nearly continuous testing, the U.S. Gov declared a moratorium on nuclear explosion, effectively ending full-scale nuclear testing at the Nevada test site. The facility was later renamed the Nevada National Security Site and repurposed for subcritical test, training, and research related to nuclear security and emergency response. Today, the NNSS stands as both a symbol of Cold War ambition and a reminder of the human and environmental cost of the nuclear age. The legacy of testing still resonates in the stories of downwinders, residents who suffered from radiation-related illnesses and an ongoing debate about transparency, responsibility, and the future of nuclear weapons policy in the United States. And that's where we at right now, guys. That is where we at. You got Doomsday Clock going on. You got certain people sounding the alarm. They are urging Donald not to do it. You're going to open the door to other countries to test their nuclear. The speaker backs Donald. J.D. Vance backed Donald. We need to test these nukes to see they're functioning and they're working fine. And the reason why they're saying that is because we are so close to biblical war. And ladies and gentlemen, that's why the Doomsday Clock now has changed from 90-second to 89-second to midnight. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Share the video, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Till next time later. Peace.